Hey, hello, friends. Welcome back to the Basement Tapes. Basement Tapes, episode number 241. We're in the thick of it, folks. We're in the meat of the soul of my collection here in the 70s. Got many more cards from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I have many more valuable cards in the 60s, 50s, and earlier. But the 70s, that's the soul of the collection right there. And it is chock full of just wonderful, wonderful cards and cultural depictions, all sorts of fun stuff. 72 is a big year for baseball and a big year for football. In fact, without thinking too hard, which might shut this whole operation down, I venture to guess that the 70s in particular, there's no bigger 1-2 punch of baseball football sets than the 1972 as far as legend and lore. So let's get into it here. Let us. 1972 Topps Baseball. Don't need to say much about this set that you might not already know, but let's get into it anyway. I have the full set here plus some variations. And yeah, it's it's massive. It's perhaps possibly a little overindulgence, which isn't typically what we think of the early 70s. That would be the 80s or the 90s, but it's a massive set, and I have mixed feelings somewhat about it. I think it's a great looking set. I think it wears you out trying to complete it, obviously. 71 would do the same, but 72 for some reason more so with collectors, and most would say that it is a flashpoint of 70s baseball sets, good or bad. But again, I have mixed feelings. Well, let's get into it here. Again, 795 in my collection. Beckett says that there's 792 or it actually says there's 792 total cards, $7.24 average value. $5,732.60 is the total value. 74 rookie cards, a set of these between $1,500 and $4,000. The cards in this 787 card set measure 2.5 by 3.5. The 1972 Topps set contained the most cards ever for a Topps set to that point in time. Features appearing for the first time were boyhood photos, 341 to 348 and 491 through 498. Awards and trophy cards, 621 to 626 in action, distributed throughout the set, and traded cards, 751 to 757. Other subsets include league leaders, 85 to 96, playoffs, 221, 222, and World Series cards, 223 through 230. The curved lines of the color picture are a departure from the rectangular designs of other years. There is a series of intermediate scarcity, 526 to 656, and the usual high numbers, 657 to 787. The backs of cards 692, 94, 96, 700, 706, 7010 form a picture back of Tom Seaver. The backs of cards 698, 702, 704, 708, 712, 714 form a picture back of Tony Oliva. As in previous years, cards were issued in a variety of ways, including 10 card wax packs, which cost a dime, 28 card cello packs, which cost a quarter, and 54 card packs, rack packs, which cost 39 cents. The 10-cent wax packs were issued 74 packs to a box, while the cello packs were also issued 24 packs to a box. Rookie cards in the set include Ron Cey and Carlton Fisk. The top three, according to Beckett, let's see here. Wait. It's the Nolan Ryan. He's a California Angel for the first time. Roberto Clemente and Hank Aaron. I will tell you that Roberto Clemente number 309 is my favorite card in this set. It's real beaut, Clark. Let's get over to TCDB. 787 cards, 1972 Topps. The teams depicted here are, we have a new one. We have the Atlanta Braves, the Orioles, Red Sox, Angels, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Indians, Tigers, Astros, Royals, Dodgers, Brewers, Twins, Expos, Mets, Yankees, Athletics, Phillies, Pirates, Padres, Giants, Cardinals, and for the first time ever, the Texas Rangers. What a complete crap show that was with that franchise moving it around and all that stuff. So Texas Rangers, welcome to the collection. I guess you could say. Errors and variations. There are 20 recorded. Some shenanigans with Cubs cards in particular, with a little extra green under the C and the S right there. Let's see here. Yeah, you could see the yellow under drop shadow there, but with I don't know if it's a drop shadow, but green and yellow variations for Cubs cards throughout the set. And I'm kind of honing in on getting that done. That's a sneaky thing. You got to really be on the hunt for that. Checklist, we have large print, small print differences, asterisks before copyrights, all that fun stuff. So it's Cubs, it's checklists, and Joe Niekro is the true variation from that. There's a black line between the 6 and the 1 on his height on the back of the card, and not so much on let's see here if we could zoom in. You can see it right there. So 216A has a black line between his feet and his inches, and a no black line on this card 216B. Lots of Hall of Famers here, 85 of them. So not going to go through it, but you have a lot of subsets here, obviously. So you have inactions, you have team leaders, you have the boyhood photos, you have the regular series of cards. So there's all sorts of fun stuff to get in on if you're a Hall of Famer, to get your cards, to build up your, I guess, to accumulate your card stats. There's one Hall of Fame rookie, I think. Is that Carlton Fisk in there? Card 79 with Mike Garman and Cecil Cooper. Rookies. All sorts of rookies there. So there are three-way rookies. There are, I don't know if there's any two-way rookies. There's plenty of single rookies, but there's also some mixed rookies as well. I believe there's mixed rookies in there, not just by team. Calling myself a liar here. Yeah, there are some a couple AL and NL and AL and NL rookie cards mixed up there. So let's get to the comments. There are a lot of comments here, folks. So grab yourself a neck pillow and let's get right to it. Woe Pagny tells us in 2011 that wondering who has seen or has a copy of 216B, Joe Niekro. I can't find any acknowledgement on any other site that this card has been verified as an error. UX Brigite, UX Bridge ITE tells us the 1972 top set was the first pack of cards that I bought. I seem to recall the price being 8 cents for 10 cards. I think I have seen the price listed as 10 cents for 10 cards. In either case, it was a great deal. Scrapping together a dime for a pack of cards was easier back in the day. I was at a convenience store yesterday and saw that the 2014 Topps pack was $2.99 for 10 cards. How times have changed. Oh, so look at that, man. 10 cents, 10 cards of 1972s versus the crap pack you get in 2014. $2.99 for 10 cards. I would say that it's almost a negative value. In theory, it'd be 30 cents a card in 2014, but they're probably worth less than they're probably worth negative 5 cents a card because of the trauma that it has inflicted upon you. Round the diamonds back, higher number of cards in this set were tougher to find for me. Were tougher for me to find than they were for the 1971 and 70 sets. The 1972 set may be a little undervalued. So that's 2016. I can tell you right now, in the ensuing 8 years, that set has skyrocketed in popularity as well as probably in value. So round the diamond, hopefully you are sitting pretty on your stack of 72s. Joe Softball tells us, my older brother let me open a pack of his 1972 Topps, and I was hooked. I would collect soda and beer bottles to get the deposit on them. All the money went to buying cards. This is still my favorite set. I think the inaction cards are the best subset out there. I disagree with you, Joe Softball, but kudos to you for hustling, a true hustle there, converting glass into cardboard as opposed to converting cardboard into cardboard, which seems to be the trend here. Lots of cardboard into a little bit of cardboard is today's trend. Sky Road 3131 tells us, I was 5 years old and my father took me to the corner store. He paid for some groceries. I was a big baseball fan at that age and watched every Yankee game that was on TV with him. He was a huge Joe DiMaggio fan. Anyway, he bought me about 10 packs of Topps baseball cards. We walked home and sat at the kitchen table. He told me stories of him opening packs as a little boy. This would be the late 40s or early 50s. So he gives me the first pack and I open it. I see the piece of gum and he says it's all right to chew it. I look at the first card and it is Willie McCovey. My father tells me he is a great player and can hit the ball a ton. Not exact words. I was so excited. I remember me and my dad ripping packs and chewing really bad gum and having a blast. So from then on, every Friday after dinner, we would rip packs, baseball and football. We did that for about 5 or 6 years until I decided I was too old to do that stuff with him anymore. Man, what a great guy he was. I wish I could have those days back. Skyroad 3131, well done. Well done by your father as well. I mean, that is truly passing down one childhood to another and exposing you. And here he is, Skyroad 3131, and probably the same age or older than his father, and he's still going strong in the hobby. So some of our fathers, when I say our, I mean you, some of your fathers have given you a tremendous gift, and please continue to enjoy it the way it was intended. Mohegan 33 tells us, fantastic set that was handed down to me by my father. Wow. Deeply enamored with this set. Great for old autographs, too. Marcus P., it was the spring of 1972, and I was in 4th grade. A couple of the guys at school were showing off the baseball cards they got in a pack. About 10 of us took great interest in this concept and asked a lot of questions. Before the end of the week, each one of us had found our way to a store to get a pack or two. Back then, they were still 5 cents. No, they weren't. But back then, you also didn't find money laying on the sidewalk. But then you also didn't. Okay, whatever. I started cutting grass and shoveling snow to earn money, asking for quarters for birthday gifts, etc., so I could feed my addiction. We had a White Hen Pantry convenience store only a block from our house, so I left early to catch the school bus. I could run to the store and buy a few packs for the day. It took a few years before I had the kind of money I needed to complete a set. 1975 was my first complete set, and we had no idea what to do with the doubles except trade them or put them in our bike spokes because they made a loud, cool sound. Nearly 50 years later, I still enjoy ripping open packs. Now I just don't have friends who collect that I can trade with. And that's a bummer, Marcus P. Hopefully you find those friends or those, I don't know, you don't have to trade with them, but just people you can enjoy the hobby with. Beagle Shortstop tells us, my first pack of cards came from this set. Not sure who got the pack for me or if I was allowed to buy it myself. I don't know why, but I do recall 3 of the players in the pack: Mike Fiore, Steve Luber, and Sparky Lyle. The first packs that I clearly remember buying for myself was the next year, 1973, at High Kell Drugs or Packasack convenience store. Both were a short walk from my elementary school. I see vape shops now near schools, but back then people were buying cards, which was awesome. K. Johnson HP tells us 1972 and 75 are my favorite sets of the 70s. I just love the 70s graphics and color. It brings back many memories of a time as a kid, and it was the first set I remember opening from packs and building a collection. 1970 was the first year I was ever given a pack of cards. The in-action cards were memorable. While the Fisk RC is a key card, I wasn't a big fan of the multiplayer cards. Plus, I liked the known stars like Aaron and Mays. It says nose, but I took some liberty there. I associate many of the early 70 players with memories of seeing their name first on these cards versus on TV or person. Great there, K. Johnson HP. Steve Fast, 1963, says the 1972 Topps baseball set was the first pack of cards I broke wax seal to reveal what players were inside. Well, what a dramatic sentence that was. I don't know that it's this fact that this is my second favorite card set in history. 1956 is my favorite. Like others, my original cards that I shuffled through in the second grade has wear and tear like they were tortured, rubber banded to the max and sorted daily. So I've been working on putting together this set for decades. At the time of this comment, I still need around 80 cards to complete. Obviously, all high numbers. The large number set is incredibly visual, and I love the graphic artwork. 3 A's, 2 R's, and a T tells us that my first pack of cards was from the 1972 baseball set. I thought the players were great and the colors were wonderful. I collected 72 and 73 and then found girls and sold everything. After my kids finished college, I was able to start collecting again and started with the 62 tops and then the 72 tops. Now I have many sets and cards, including 3 complete 1972 tops sets. I still love these cards. That is some polygamy stuff right there to have 3 sets of 72. You only need one to love 3 A's, 2 R's, and a T. CF Malley says, I had bought a pack here and there from 1970 and 71, but this set, 1972, was when I really started collecting cards. I was 12 and had no income, but my father would slip me some change and send me up to get a few packs. I finally remember once when he gave me a $5 bill and told me to go up to Boyd's and get as many packs as I could. The catch was that he got to open them. He would open a pack, read the name and team, then hand me the card. I sat on the floor at his feet and started stacking them by team. By the end of the year, I realized the whole numbering thing, and I was hooked on set building from then on. Sadly, I sold all my cards in 1987, but I'm back. Welcome back, my friend. Bear Bum 2 says, great name, by the way. And who was Bear Bum 1, I wonder? It was a Saturday in April or May. It had been raining throughout the morning, squashing any chance of card hunting. In the early 1980s, that's what I did with my dad. Every garage sale or yard sale around our Alsip, Illinois neighborhood was hunting ground for baseball cards and memorabilia. We searched hard those years, but more seasoned hunters came away with better game. That afternoon, we went out for a drive. The rain had stopped after lunch, and my dad thought we might find a sale or two. I was happy to go, as I often was. There was no sales on our drive out, but on our way back home, I spotted a family loading up their front yard. We stopped in. Lots of useful stuff, I suppose, but nothing that caught this 14-year-old's eye, except a large cardboard box the size of a milk crate. Inside, the colorful splash of thousands of 1972 Topps baseball cards with a disproportional amount of high numbers. I didn't know that at the time. My dad paid for it. I think it was $10. Boy, was I excited on the drive home. There was everything in multiples: Mays, Clemente, Aaron. I can't recall if I noticed then that the bottom quarter of the box was a bit damp. I started my story with rain, so it must end with rain. The cardboard box was likely out on the lawn that morning, which became evident the deeper I searched. The high numbers, Carew, Garvey, were mostly at the bottom. But for $10, it's a great memory that has lasted all these decades. That's a score. If you took time to read this, thank you. Great little story there, Bear Bum. Composer Mike tells us, as a complete set, this was a challenge to build. 1972 was the largest set Topps had released to date. The high series was tough to find in higher grade, and most series had centering issues. That said, the set just screams 1970s, ! And a few apostrophes in there. Mixing in the 7 traded cards towards the run's end was a nice touch, too. All right, and then here we have Shout Out 52 telling us, this set takes me back to 1994. I was 10 years old, and my friend Sean and I used to trade cards for after church. One day, a member sees us and tells us that his son used to be a card collector, and if we were going to be there next week, he might have some cards for us. True to his word, Ron gave us a bag full of 1981 Donruss cards. A few weeks later, he had some 72 Topps cards for us, a pile of maybe 30 commons for each of us, and then a smaller stack of bigger names, and one Reggie Jackson. He told us to pick among ourselves who gets the star pile and who gets the Jackson. Sean and I didn't even need to debate it. He wanted Jackson, and I wanted the star pile. 30 years later, I'm trying to get the entire set autographed with multiplayer cards. That means there are 863 signatures required. I'm less than 300 short. Unfortunately, with several cards of players who died within 15 years of the set's release, 3 Clemente, 2 Munson, 2 Don Wilson, 2 Danny Frizella, 2 Norm Cash, Danny Thompson, Danny Murtaugh, Jim McLaughlin, Bob Moose, Carl Morton, and Don McMahon. Several more who just didn't like signing: Mike Marshall, Steve Hoveley, Gary Gentry, Rich Childs, Stan Swanson, Terry Forster, Bob Fenwick, Doyle Alexander, Mike Kekich, and multiple cards of big-name stars. 6 cards of Seaver, 5 of Stargell, 4 of Aaron, 3 of Reggie, 2 of Mays, and Ted Williams. I know I'll never complete it, but it's fun to work on. So shout out 52 is naming names and putting people on notice. And I'm curious as to how far he has gotten in the year plus since he posted that. Let's look at the packaging. Big old blue wax box there. Gentleman holding a baseball to his ear. Perhaps hearing the ocean or the ballpark. They're 10-cent packs, baseball, bubble gum, net weight 0.18 ounces of bubble gum in those cards. Let's look at the back of this one. It says the new 6th edition. You can get any gift in this exciting catalog. So your supplier has a very special bonus of 1 cent and 5 cent and 2 cent Super Baloney bubble gum with valuable gift certificates placed inside. Save them for hundreds of luxurious items shown in the Bazooka gift catalog. You'll get your gifts fast because saving Topps gift certificates is as easy as selling Bazooka. Mail coupon for free catalog. So we're again plying the store owners with toasters and perhaps rabbit ear antennas and needle nose pliers and all the other modern conveniences. There's a pack of gum, pack of wax packs. Again, we're holding the ball to our ear with the curved tee, baseball, drop shadow, all sorts of groovy stuff there. You can get, according to one wax packs, you can get candy apple bubble gum back in the day here. So let's look at that wrapper a little bit here. White wrappers, again, a gentleman in teal uniform, not sure what that was all about, and a mock turtleneck. Perhaps he's going clubbing after the game. But an interesting uniform choice. Every lick of delicious, thick candy apple coating puts you nearer to the chewy bubble gum center. And that's where it's all. I don't know what happens after that. The copywriters for the wax packs are an interesting bunch. Here's a picture of 7 different wrappers with offers on there. I can't tell exactly what everything is, but it looks like they mixed it up a little bit. No more whale's tooth, no more telescopes, no more binoculars. There is a cello box there, 25 cents. Nice blue. I have some of those on that 70s card store if you're interested. I definitely piled those up. There is a cello pack that will go into that cello box. And there is a rack pack. What a beauty rack pack that is. It's got Aaron in action, it's got bench in action, and it's got the regular bench card depicted there. Let's get down to sell sheets and ads. This is a third-party issue here. Sell sheet, it says 1972 Topps baseball cards, $12.95. Lowest prices, complete 6 series set, over 740 cards, $12.95 plus 95 cents postage. Time payment plan, send $3.95 now and 5 $2.20 payments later. Series 1 to 6, $2.50 each. Most singles, 5 cents each by card number. All players on favorite baseball team, $2.95. You could also get a 71-72 basketball set for $6.95, a 71-72 hockey set for $7.95, a 71 football set for $5.95, and a 71 Canadian football set for $5.95. Price list 20 cents. Smaller orders, smallest order accepted is $1. This is the Hobby Card House, P.O. Box 15, Department BD 18, Fort Lee, New Jersey 07024. So you are getting some black market cards right there. Not quite sure how the card companies felt about that back then, but they probably didn't care because they were selling bubblegum. Trivia here. There's a lot of trivia associated with this. All 7 at 787 cards. This is Topps' largest set to date. The set was released in 6 series. In later series, 24 in-action cards had pieces of images on the back that, when assembled, created pictures of Joe Torre, Carly Yastrzemski, Tom Seaver, and Tony Oliva. 7 cards towards the set's end have the word traded stamped across their fronts, making them the first ever Topps traded cards. There's some bangers in there, too. You have your Steve from Mars Carlton. You have Frank Robinson. You have... why am I drawing a blank here? Anyway, you have some bangers in that little series. Joe Morgan's one of them, right? 6 different series released. The higher series are higher value and difficult to get because they were released in late summer. There was less interest in cards. So many were destroyed. Series 1 through 132, Series 2, 133 through 263, Series 3, 264 to 394, Series 4, 495 to 525, Series 5, 526 to 656, Series 6, 657 to 787. So what's I find interesting about that is the last cards in each series go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyway, if you're into math, I'm sure that that'll get you going a little bit. Number 33, Billy Martin on card number 33. Billy Martin is extending his middle finger down the bat. We know about that. Tigers manager Billy Martin. 162 Brewers 72 rookie stars, Jerry Bell, Darrell Porter, and Bob Reynolds. The images of Jerry Bell and Darrell Porter are transposed on card 132. Card number 679, 1972 rookie stars, Bob Fenwick, Bob Stinson. Bob Stinson appears on a third consecutive rookie stars card, all with different teams: 70 Dodgers, 71 Cardinals, and the 72 Astros. There is not much more that needs to be shown to you. We have the distinct orange brownish backs of these cards with the black ink on gray cardstock. We have the tombstone effect with the groovy stars and the groovy dropped shadow thing there that just smells like furniture, plastic furniture covers, and old, I guess, Natty Boh in the basement. Yeah, like I said, I have mixed feelings about this. There is a lot of bloat here, the boyhood stars, the inaction stuff, all that, but it does offer an awful lot of coolness as well. The league leader cards are great, obviously. And I find the traded series to be fascinating as well. One of my favorite cards in here is the 1972 Billy Cowan. So I love the Clemente, obviously, but if you want to get down and you want to get low, the Billy Cowan is one of my favorite cards. And let's look at this here. Let's get here. Billy Cowan with the Angels with the halo in Anaheim, the big A over his head, the halo. So I think that it was well done, sneaky by the photographer, and perfectly executed. Now, if you're lucky enough like me and you have a guardian angel in the hobby, when you complete the set, you may just get one of these, the 1972 Topps Club set. It says John Keating on there, and it has special edition membership card celebrating the 1972 set and the enormous task of completing it, as discussed via Twitter on August 25th, 2020. That's fun. With balls, limited edition. So Geo, thanks for that. Mark Hoyle, thanks for that. The Wild 1970s. So I keep that card on the last page of my my binder, so it's in there with all of the rest of the mooks from that year. That year. So anyway, 72 Topps Baseball, longest episode ever probably, but it is the biggest series of cards issued up to that point as well from Topps. So Basement Tapes number 241. Thanks, everybody.